Welcome to Fly Nubian Money. It's Friday. You are here and we help you to master your mindset and maximize your money. Now, listen, before we get into our topic today, you know, Lala always likes to say, woo-hoo, this is Blackout Friday. I don't care what nobody is telling you online, Dr. Jamal. Didn't nobody tell you? You can't tell me what to do. You can't tell me what to do. I'm still on blackout. So I don't know about y'all, but I'm still on blackout. I'm not spending my money where it is not neat, where they obviously don't respect it. So if you're still, even though they're saying it's over, going to be participating in this blackout, make sure you put hashtag blackout in the comments. Listen, today we are talking about a filmmaker who reportedly generated $7 million in ticket sales on YouTube. And that's an independent film. So there was no traditional theater release and no major studio was behind it, but the film was sold directly to viewers online. Now, this is happening at a time when technology, digital platforms, and even AI are changing how people create and distribute content. Many filmmakers are no longer have to wait for Hollywood to come knocking at their door. They can just build an audience, release their work online, and make money directly from the viewers that they have. So today we're actually going to talk about what this means for filmmakers, video producers, artists, songwriters, creators, and anybody who wants to build an audience in this digital era. I have a panel of fabulous queens, and I want to introduce you to them before we move forward. We have Yolanda Spivey, our insurance brokers to the stars. We have Micah, the creator, AI expert, and digital marketer. And I know you got a lot to say about this, Micah. We have Tiara Williams, Miss Black Hollywood, and Karma J. She is our producer of our show and vocalist. We have Dominique Morgan. She's a realtor, RN, and coach. Love that combination. And then you've got little old crazy me, the singing international real estate agent, been around all around the world, same song. Listen, y'all, this is really interesting. And actually, it does excite me because I'm going to be very honest. In these last 2 weeks, I've been like a mad scientist learning how to do things like this on my own to help create things for my husband's videos that we can use. So this is something as a creator I'm interested in. So I'd like to hear your first reaction before we get into the video about what was your first reaction when you heard that an independent film on YouTube, no less, made $7 million. I'm going to start with you, Yolanda.
Yeah, my first reaction was like, yay! Woo! Yeah! Jamona! You know what I'm saying? Because finally, we don't have to be going through so-and-so, so-and-so, and so-and-so just to get a big Hollywood studio deal. We can do it ourselves. Things have shifted on this planet, and I'm loving every bit of it. We have control of our artistry. We have control over our money. Well, maybe not, but still, we have control over what we want to put out there and how we do it. And on top of that, we have control over how we can get funded. This is awesome.
I love it. I absolutely love it. And I think this opens a lot of doors. I mean, you hear a lot of things like Ryan Coogler and all those, but they got their start somewhere too. Dominique, how are you feeling about this? What was your first thoughts when you heard about this?
So I'm aligned with Yolanda. I was excited because I just feel like it gives us our power back. And nobody can tell us our worth. So you hear about a lot of the stars that talked about how they weren't getting paid, based on their partners. We're getting our power back. And people have been robbed blind by the industry, right? So you're going to give me pennies, but you're making all the money on the work that I'm doing. I just think that is awesome. And now they have to look at things differently because now we're in control. We're not fighting for our masters. We're not fighting for you to pay us a certain amount. We're showing you that we can make this money with or without you. So you need to get on board with us. So I love it.
I love it. I absolutely love it. And you got to also remember that when you are starting in Grassroots, and I've always taught this during my live streaming, it doesn't matter. I have people still following me from Periscope, y'all. When Periscope fell apart, people was like, well, where can we find you now? So they make sure that they follow you. So the people who follow you early usually are your cheerleaders and stay with you. Micah, what was your thought about this when you found out he was 7 million? Ain't nothing to sneeze at.
No, it isn't. Now, when I heard it, I was skeptical. So I decided to dive in a little bit more, right? And so him having his I's dotted and his T's crossed was something that really came in like handy for him. This was not a small budget film, even though he made 7 million in pre-sales, right? He did have access to a pretty decent sized budget. And then also having the audience there already was everything, because the truth of the matter is having an audience is the one thing that's been the game changer for independent people who are coming out and starting out and trying to make their projects large. The truth of the matter is that the industries that we want to be in and to succeed in, they buy into audiences, not just great ideas. So he had that there, and anybody that wants to replicate those results, look at everything that he did and get your stuff together. Do it with a strategy.
Listen, he's paved the way, definitely, for sure. Maybe you've been thinking about this, but now it's time for you to study what was done so that you don't have to reinvent the wheel and give it your own spin. Tiara, what was your thoughts when you heard about this?
Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? I'm good. Okay.
You crunchy.
There's a little static on my side. Okay. When I heard this, I thought about people in the industry. No.
You're real crunchy. Go out and come back. Okay, while Tiara's gone, I want to tell y'all what this reminded me of. And you tell me if this, I don't know, maybe I'm telling my age. I just turned 50. What year is this? Yeah, 56. I'm starting to forget how old I am. But I also remember a lot of the 70s films. And one came to mind to me very quickly, which is as Melvin Van Peebles. He did Sweetback's Badass Song. A lot of those creators in the 70s, especially Black filmmakers, had to make their own way. So this isn't something new and by any means, but we have come along so far as well where people feel kind of crunched, and now Hollywood really kind of suppresses a lot of people for their creation. But when they see you're being successful, then they want to come and put their hand in the honeypot. But don't forget, there's always been Black creators that have worked around the bullshit. And you have to remember, they did it. They got their own music. They made sure they worked with one another. Like, if y'all haven't checked out that film, you may laugh about it now, but it was a big deal. Sweetback's Badass Song was absolutely huge. Tiara, you're back. I do want to hear what your thoughts were about when you first heard about this film.
I don't know if I'll be able to stay. Can you hear me? No.
Your sound is underwater. Dang. Okay. I guess I let you go. Anyway, listen, y'all, I do want to watch the video. So let's watch the video so we can get back into this conversation, because this excites me, really. I love it when the underdog does something good and it pays off. It shows that it can be done when people are telling you that it can't. So let's check out this video and get back into the conversation. I think we're going to get back into the conversation. Okay, we already said that this is a wonky
has
Friday.
already made $7 million at the box office, and it isn't even out yet. Have you heard of Iron Lung? It's a new horror movie based on a video game, releasing in 4,105 theaters worldwide on Friday, with previews on Thursday. It's okay if you haven't heard of it, because this movie has no studio behind it, no major distributor, and no mainstream marketing rollout. But what it does have is Markiplier, aka Mark Fishbach, one of the world's most famous YouTubers. He funded, wrote, directed, and stars in Iron Lung, and with the help of a Hollywood middleman, he's also self-distributed the film. And thanks to the power of his fans, who demanded the movie open everywhere, Iron Lung has become a significant wide-release movie. Oh, and also, those people bought tickets. A lot of tickets. The Ankler reports that the movie has already grossed $7 million in pre-sales. It's unclear what Fishbach spent on the project. IndieWire called it low budget, while the Ankler said the movie cost a fraction of that $7 million. So it's possible Markiplier has already turned a profit. And he's also easily beat the box office totals of previous YouTuber movies. Anyway, are you planning to see Iron Lung this weekend? I'm hoping to go tonight on Thursday, and we'll post a review on Friday.
First of all, it's horror. That is Lala's passion. She loves horror. She's a horror girly. Yes, I watch them all and listen to all the podcasts too. So, I don't care what genre it is. I think I am going to support this young man. So definitely going to look for it. But Dominique, do you think that digital platforms are replacing traditional distribution?
I do think so. People are getting their own, they're establishing their own followers by being consistent, by showing up on a regular basis. And so that gives them the power. You see a lot of people on social media and YouTube, on all these different platforms that are slowly building their following, right? That gives them the power. They don't have to go to anybody. They're going to those millions of people that follow them and watch the different shows that they do, the different skits that they do. And it's changing the game for them. And so when they go and they try, they want to have conversations, they have more negotiating power because I have 10 million people backing me. So you're not going to take all my money. This is what I can do. And this is what I'm worth. And this is what you're going to pay me. It just gives them the control because now they're coming with the people already. 10 million people is translating to a lot of money. And these companies know that. It's just like a wedding. When you put wedding on certain things, the price goes up, right? And so they try to get over on people. Now you can't do that because I already had a back and I'm gonna do it with or without you. But if I do it with you, these are my terms.
Correct. Yeah.
Hey, he's got the control here, but let's not forget, we're hearing all this hype and we're excited, but I already done told y'all, this ain't nothing new. This is kind of new in a different realm. But when it comes to beautiful chocolate folk, we've been doing this for a long time. So Yolanda, are we hyping up something that's already been done? And why are we not still going back in history and saying, hey, we're so proud of you that you're doing this now, but don't forget who paved the way. How do you feel about that?
You're absolutely correct. I remember that film, Sweet Baby Ray, whatever. Okay, I remember that. I'm like close to your age, Lala. All right. But I will say this. Black creators have always had to do this. Always. It is up to us, the aunties now and the uncles, to tell the story that this has already been repeated. You're just doing it now in a different way. So we just have to let the young people know that, yeah, in the 70s, we did it. In the 80s, we did it. In the 90s, we did it. And you know what this reminds me of? Back in just like a few years ago, Tubi. Everybody makes fun of Tubi, right? But a lot of Black creators was putting their stuff up on Tubi because they couldn't get distribution anywhere else. And all those Tubi movies are a little bit ghetto, okay? They are. But you gotta love them, okay? You gotta love them. 1 minute somebody holding a microwave, the next minute they holding the gun. So you know what they're editing. But still, Black creators took control, even though they didn't have the budget and all this other good stuff, and even the backing from people, they still took control, took out their cameras and their little video cameras and started creating. And they also was able to get on a platform where they are getting millions and millions and millions of views. So yeah, this has always been done. This young man just took it up a notch with YouTube, okay? But this has always been done. Yeah, we need to tell a story though.
It's really interesting though, because I will tell you, my husband and I have filmed many videos for our music, right? We didn't have no professional cameras, y'all. We used a professional software called Filmic Pro. And what did we use? Our iPhone 11s, y'all. And yes, Lala still has an 11. Don't play with me. Don't play with me. Because I'm not giving them that much money. When this breaks, maybe I'll upgrade. And it still serves me well, right? So I think with today's technology and you being able to do those things on that level as well, I don't know what his budget was for cameras and things like that. But I just want you to open your mind to, if you're getting excited about something like this, you don't need $1 million worth of cameras, y'all. You just need a little bit of a good software and your phone. And you'll be able to do something very well. Y'all, people don't even realize half of those videos were filmed with Filmic Pro on our iPhones. So it's an encouragement for you. Now, Tiara, I'm going to try to get back to you because I have something to ask Micah, but I want to know what your thoughts were when you heard about the movie.
I don't hear no crackling, so I might be in the game.
You in the game.
Okay. All right. What I was gonna say was, I think this is great for independent filmmakers, and it just makes me think of Tyler Perry. You know, I think that he was the first one of our generation in the '90s, at least from when I was born. In the '90s, you know, watching him build his audience from scratch. Nobody had seen somebody just go on the road the way he did with plays, regardless if you love the content or not. Now, those Medea plays had people in a chokehold in the 90s. I mean, selling the DVDs, I thought his marketing was genius. He would get up at the end and do a spiel on God and thanking God and be like, you know, bootlegging is a sin. And then, you know, like basically like you're stealing if you steal it. And it made Black people want to support him. And I want to say he was probably doing these numbers too, even back then, just from selling DVDs, having sold out. But he built that thing big, brick by brick. And so it just makes me think of, when I think of Black people who have done it, I think of Tyler Perry.
I say we name them all. Yes, I'm happy for this young man, but let's be the teachers. That's what we do on this platform, especially for our communities. We don't want to overlook anything that has been done by us as well, because it has been done. But I'm still happy for this young man. Now, Micah, I finally get to ask you, like, do you feel that YouTube is okay? I don't know what that was, but hello.
That's
Do you
Iran, girl. That's Iran. They kicking our ass.
Yeah, they all involved in this. Michael, do you think that YouTube is becoming a serious platform for these film releases? I mean, you're working in the digital realm and you could do a lot of these things, and YouTube is the first place I think of when you post them. So do you think that YouTube is becoming the serious platform for this?
No, I think that YouTube has been a serious platform for this. YouTube, I mean, YouTube is the #2 search engine in the world. I mean, at least it was before the major, advancements of AI or whatnot. But the majority of the time when people are searching for things, they're looking for YouTube. Inside of the music industry, all the major music producers are recommending that when you want to launch your music, make sure you stick it on YouTube. They're telling you to do that before you take it and put it on iTunes. All the major digital marketers creating their audiences on YouTube. So it's no surprise. The film part, I'm not surprised by that. This specific producer, again, he's got 34 million followers on YouTube. That's pretty serious. That means people have been watching what he does, watching what he has to say. So this wasn't something success that just appeared out of thin air. This is work put in consistently. And so for those of you who want to be really major, if you haven't been taking YouTube seriously, I would highly advise that you do. Don't miss out on it. It's here. It's not going anywhere.
That's right.
I call it the University of YouTube. Anytime I want to find something, I say, oh, wait a minute, let me go to University of YouTube and find out what I can find out there. And 9 times out of 10, the answer is always there. And sometimes it could just be one little creator who only did one video about the one thing that I'm looking for, but that is there. Many, many years ago, my husband did a video before all this monetization and stuff. He did a video about building a vocal booth. He didn't think nothing about it. He has so many, millions of views on this thing, because why? There's that many people who's looking to build a vocal booth. But let's see what our family is saying, because I haven't had a chance to tap in with them. So listen, we love all of you all being here. Dr. Vibe says greetings, and Incog says he's not surprised because they went around the gatekeeping handlers of entertainment. Armando said, yeah, he also did the movie Posse. He's talking about Mario Van Peebles, great movie. And his father was in it too. So that was a filmmaking family. The Real Blaxicon wanted you to reboot.
I did.
I'm glad you did. Mm-hmm. And then Hands Off, who is one of my friends on my page, he says he don't look into horror unless the lights are off and his honey is close. It is Friday the 13th, y'all. Y'all do know that. Time to pull out your horror movies, right? James says greetings and good info. And then Black Lexicon says people are becoming sick of mass appeal. I think that's a good question. I think that's a good statement. Dominique, do you feel that is a correct statement?
I would agree with that. I would agree with that. Yes.
How do you use it in your life? Do you go and specifically look for things online that you thoroughly support and enjoy?
I do. That when I go and look, that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for things that I enjoy. I'm looking for the person that presents it in a way that I can relate to. You know, I like simple, straight to the point. I don't like long and detailed. So I feel like when it comes to social media, like you have an option to look for different things, not just one person or one ideal. You can get it different ways.
There's just some creators I just make sure I follow first. And in all genres, if because you do get kind of tired of hearing about everything that's going on in the world that's so heavy, that I particularly have playlists of people on YouTube that I go to just for fun content and to learn, or artists or something outside of what is going on outside of our windows. We listen, we have another video and I would love to check that out, and then we'll come back and continue this conversation. Keep the conversation going, guys. If y'all have any questions, anybody that you love, put them in the comments. We'd love for you to share. You're gonna put us because you love us.
Now, I don't know if you've heard the buzz around indie filmmaker and YouTuber Mark Fishbach, aka Markiplier, who just killed it at the box office with his indie film Iron Lung. So if you don't know this story, he is a gamer YouTuber who shared with his fans about the fact that he was making this horror movie. And it took him a while because he self-financed it. He raised $3 million to make his own horror movie, right? And he didn't, he couldn't afford to do it big, but he really wanted it in theaters. So he was able to do his own deals with the theaters and get it in 50 theaters on his own. His fans that he spent years building, because he started on YouTube, I believe he said in 2012, demanded that it open in more theaters. So they started contacting AMC and Cinemark to get his movie in those theaters. A movie that only was supposed to open in 50 theaters ended up opening in over 3,000 theaters in Canada and the US. Okay, so worldwide, right? 3,000 theaters. This movie, opening weekend, almost beat out Disney's movie Send Help by making over $25 million as an indie filmmaker who self-distributed his film. 25 million with an M as an indie filmmaker who self-distributed his film. Even he can't believe it. He has been on YouTube crying because he can't believe how his fans supported and believed in him, because he shared with them his journey. He was not afraid to fail in public. He understood the long game, and it's a long game. But look at the success. Now they're coming to him. And NBC did an article on him talking about he is the new wave of indie filmmakers who are not waiting for studios to select them and are making their own path.
Hey, that's some good stuff right there. But, we heard some of the challenges that he had. So Yolanda, what outside of what she was talking about, what other challenges do you think that independent filmmakers, especially when it comes to distribution, face?
Distribution. Getting their joints distributed, especially when it comes to getting distributed in other countries and things like that. It's very, very tough. And as someone said before, that gatekeeping, because that's the word I was searching for at the beginning of this conversation, gatekeeping. We always have to go through Sony or these big movie houses just to get a deal. Lionsgate reminds me of one of them, because I know Tyler Perry goes through Lionsgate to get distributed. So that right there is just the biggest thing right there, distribution.
And it always has been. You may own your rights, you may own all that, but if you can't get it distributed, that is the challenge for most people. People don't really realize there's more than one piece of a puzzle with any kind of project that you do. You're going to have to go and pay the toll of the gatekeepers. And if you can find a way around them, that's a beautiful thing, but that's not a common thing. Guys, I also remembered things like the Blair Witch Project. Do y'all remember that?
Yes.
Where, of course, it made me sick to watch the thing because it was just running around with cameras and shaking the cameras with them. But it was also another huge film. And look, Dr. Vibe just said something very important. As Prince said, content is king and distribution is the emperor. All right, Tiara, I'm tapping into you on that one because why? Because you have a project right now that you are working on and you are really trying to get it out there. Now, we know we all love and support you here, but that's your inner circle. So how are you planning on getting more distribution? Is it a challenge for you?
Yeah, I mean, over the years, I've created many projects, right? In particular, obviously, this is music, but when it comes to film, I think the biggest blessing was probably being introduced to Dr. Boyce. Before then, we were pitching. I mean, I remember in 2008, I pitched a Black female sketch comedy show to Fox, and they said that Black women weren't, Black America wasn't ready for Black women who were sketch comedy uh, artists who were funny. They weren't ready for that. They weren't ready to see that regularly. And so over the years, my challenge, and I'm going to answer your question, but over the years, I feel like that had been the challenge, like me trying to break and wanting, I think when you're young and you want to work in this, you wanted to work in Hollywood all your life. I mean, I wanted to work in Hollywood since I seen What's Love Got to Do with It. I was like, I want to do what she's doing, talking about Angela Bassett. And that started my journey as an actress. I was like 12. I don't, you know what I mean? So for people that really just like, it took me a really long time to break away from this traditional. To me, this was king. Being in Hollywood was king. Getting on television, acting on television, being on television. Even when, I met Dr. Boyce, he was like, nah, the internet in 2012. The internet. And I was like, no, because I don't want to do anything from my living room. And I was like, and there has to be cameras and there has to be things. And so it was a real shift that had to happen. So you asking me, how did I handle distribution? One of the things has been working with Dr. Boyce, who was building an audience at that time. Right. When I met him, he was like, I mean, I really don't have no money as a company, but I got this audience. And so what we would do is we partnered, and I started out with a talk show in 2013. Talk show. We did that for a while. I had like a female sketch comedy show in 2013 that did really well on his platform. We made movies. We've made tons of movies, and people have gotten to see them just based off that partnership. So taking that same model and just partnering with different people, partnering with people like, the other people that have basically a following was the thought after that. Well, let me partner with Boyce. Let me partner with Morris Chestnut. Let me partner with people that I know, that I've known for a very long time, and work with them and kind of leverage that. But what I will say is I realized that even after years of running from it, I have to build my own audience. I have to do it. So, that is the next part of content creation. So,
And that is actually key. Like, you have to connect with people in a certain way that they feel like they're going on this journey with you. When you tap into that, that is your pot of gold, and there's nothing about it. And then they bring their friends like, oh, did you hear about Karma J? Let me turn you on to this. It's all about connection. A lot of people forget that connecting with people, that is your foundation. That is your solid foundation, and you build from that. I don't care if you're just coming on social media and doing 30-second snippets. If you connect to someone, they're going to stay with you, and then they'll be around for film number 2, film number 3. They will always be there to support you. But Micah,
can I just add one more thing?
Sure.
I'm so sorry. This is it. Let me just go back to the what Fox said. Fox said that they didn't want a Black female sketch show. And the first time that I released my Black female sketch show on Dr. Boyce's network, somebody reached out to me and offered me a 6-figure gig to build a network. So like just the idea, like to do some things creatively with them. The first show I ever released on his platform, somebody called me and was like, yeah. So I saw you on Dr. Boyce's network and this whole thing. So I just feel like going to the people is the answer. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. Go ahead.
No, the people are the power. I mean, you're the creator, you're driving this thing, but you got to have people to help you to push that caboose. Micah, now listen, in today's world, we have different type of technology, and you are our AI guru. So is AI going to change the way film production and storytelling are being offered to the world?
Absolutely. It has that potential just because you have lower barriers to entry, right? With the cost. So now we're talking about the possibility of using AI to get a film done sometimes for like around $2,000. Is it going to be the absolute best thing out there? No, because even with stuff coming out all the time, people are like, that's AI, that's AI. You see the distortions and things like that. But at the same time, people are still watching. Just even the stuff that I've produced with AI and took the courage to just get it out there has still had major industry people kind of like knocking at my door like, hey, how can we get our hands on that? How can we get access to the distribution on that? So I would still say, this young man was able to raise $3 million from his followers, right? So he could produce a real film. But go ahead and still, if that's something you want to do, take your chances. Even, with AI, just get it done. Create some trailers, start getting yourself out there. Is your first thing going to be a big hit? More than likely, no, right? But what it will do is go ahead and get you noticed. You really just kind of have to wake up in the morning and have like some courage and take a I don't give a damn type of attitude, regardless of what anybody says, yes or no. I am going to get out there and put this out there anyway, period.
My mama always said a closed mouth never gets fed. And that sticks with me quite a bit. And I'm really into affirmations. And one of my affirmations is I don't have to feel ready. I just need to move and the spark comes. And when you start leaning into that and you stop worrying about what other people are saying, you're on a different path. The naysayers are there, but I call them haters, and you need those to push you along. And sometimes you can even get ideas off of those haters because it fuels you to be better. Dominique, now we know YouTube is considered social media as well. Unto itself. So much so, listen, it was always video. It was never a post a picture first. It was always video. It's always been that platform. So what kind of role does social media, even outside of YouTube, play when you're promoting independent films?
So when you're building your platforms, you're getting followers, right? You're getting people to buy into what you're doing. You're getting people to follow your journey. I think the big thing is people just being transparent and honest. People are afraid of failure, but people don't understand that failure is not, oh, I failed. Failure is just saying, hey, that didn't work, but I learned from that. So let me try something else. And then when you're starting over, you're starting from experience. You're not starting from the beginning. And so one thing that I will say is, when people follow people that are transparent, that are honest, that show their journey, whether it's good, the bad, all of it, right? And I think when you build those platforms, I love YouTube. YouTube is my favorite out of all social media platforms. Like, I just feel like you can kind of have more control over the people that you follow, the things that you're interested in. It doesn't seem as chaotic. I feel like sometimes the other platforms are very chaotic. But what I will say is when you get people involved and you get more followers, it just helps with the buy-in, and it helps with whatever you're trying to distribute, and it gets more attention.
I agree. I'm with you. I go to YouTube first. And it's funny because hubby and I last night were flipping through all of the streaming services last night again. And I was like, all that, and I don't want to see nothing. I'd rather go to YouTube and find something else that's more interesting. And guess what? I always find on YouTube things like old classic movies. If I want to see blaxploitation, I go to YouTube. If I don't have it already in my arsenal, because this girlie ain't never given up her DVDs. I'm gonna tell you that right now. That's always going to be there until they fall apart. But YouTube is that powerful, very, very powerful. We have some stats. I want to check out our stats because I like numbers. I like them a lot.
Me too.
Digital platforms have become dramatically lowered. Oh, excuse me, read again. Digital platforms have dramatically lowered the cost of distributing films to a global audience. Mhm. Independent films make up over 75% of films produced each year, but receive a much smaller portion of the studio funding. And the global film industry generates over 90 billion annually. Billion, y'all. More than 500 hours of video are uploaded to YouTube every minute. Guilty, just uploaded one today. YouTube has over 2.7 billion monthly users worldwide and is still pushing people to just get it out there. There are so many good creators out there, and we all start somewhere. You know, I always refer when I'm teaching other people and other agents how to feel a little more confident on camera. I've been on stage since I was 3 years old, but I always refer back to one of my very first periscopes where I looked so awkward and I sounded so awkward. And I was kind of stumbling over the words like, what do I do with this thing? And where do I hold it? And blah, blah, blah. But don't y'all know, to this day, that's still one of my most watched, because the information that I was giving on that video is what people were looking for. So never let somebody clip them wings, right? But you know, Yolanda, we heard about all this, but do independent filmmakers have more creative freedom? And is that more important than what the studio is giving for backing?
Do they have more creative freedom? I think so. So back before all this happened, like this digital wave and the internet, I used to be a fan of the Independent Film Channel. I don't know if you guys remember that. It was a channel on cable TV. I was so engrossed in it because they told stories that you will not see on regular television. So yes, you are able to stretch your wings up, you know, and fly a little bit more when you are a digital creator. You know, you're not beholden by the studio standards and their rules and regulations, and you can just be. And if they, you know, put it on the, you know, independent platform. And as you said before, Lala, the power is in the people. It's the people who respond to this stuff. It's the people who will promote this stuff and support. And when the studios see it, then of course, you know, they'll distribute it on their stuff too. But
as an afterthought, and then want to come in and dip more than they finger in the honey pot. But here's
exactly.
what's, because Tiara, you mentioned, you know, Tyler Perry. We think about Tyler Perry. I remember when I was a teenager, my aunties made it a point when he came through Louisville, Kentucky, when he was doing the plays, they always were there front and center. And so, you know, I knew him first from the plays that he was going around the country from. But then now we know Tyler Perry as a movie maker, a filmmaker, a producer with his own arsenal for around films, and also helping other people. And there were a lot of challenges with him doing that as well, and a lot of sacrifices. But Micah, what kind of mistakes do you think that creators today make when they're trying to build an audience? Because that's really not an easy thing, but you got to kind of tap into the people who connect to you. So what mistakes are they making?
Yeah, definitely not having a strategy and giving up too quickly, right? Because the truth of the matter is, YouTube typically does not pick up your content and start distributing it far, at least now, unless you have like a minimum of like 90 videos. So 90 videos means that you are going to have to be, there's going to have to be some consistency there. They're not just going to take one video, doesn't matter how good it is, and start sending it out to people or whatnot. They want to know that you're working for this and that you are dedicated, you know, to this. Your greatest thing isn't always going to take off like very quickly. So you have to take your time, experiment. If you don't know what to do, you just kind of have to trust the process and know that your audience is going to tell you, right? And at some point you're going to realize like, okay, I've got to give them more of what they love and less of what is causing them to drop off. The other thing too is not diving into or paying attention to your stats. That's really important, because the data in itself is going to tell you what to do and what not to do. So you have to have a true, genuine interest in that and not necessarily just the fast turnaround and the fast results.
I think that's key. But you know what? You have to learn. Part of that is to listen to what your audience is saying. You know, they always say when you're producing something, go back and look and see what people are, if you're doing something like this where you're looking at our comments, go back and look and see what people are actually saying or asking in your comments, and use that to launch into your next powerful video. So, you know, not only are we talking about the success of this film, we're also giving you guys golden nuggets into something that we all here, I know we all here have learned, because we have to be seen to do anything. Any of us do something publicly. We have our own business, but you have to be seen. You have to be seen. In green. Yeah, go back to the Wiz. All right. We have another video I want us to watch before we get back into this conversation. Let's check it out.
As I pull this up, this is a video about the process of building an audience, because I think it's just important that we have the information. Just some tips on how to do that. Because people are building audiences every which way,
there are
right?
people on Tubi making millions. My name is Shania Banton, and I have been a filmmaker for the past 11 years, and I have been a full-time director, writer, and producer for going on 3 years now. And on today's Onset Talk, I'm going to talk about the power of marketing your film. So a little while ago, I made a video, and the hook was, there are people on Tubi making millions. And the comment section went crazy because people were just so up in arms with disbelief. And to be quite honest, I wasn't lying. There are people on Tubi who are making $500,000. You can literally look in the comments and find there are people who have admitted to that in the comment section. However, it is very hard for people to believe, but that is also because people don't understand the power of marketing your film. Now, there are multiple examples of films that have been successful strictly off of marketing their films correctly. Not going to the studio, not going to a network, not going to a streaming platform, but through marketing. One of those films I recently was reading about, and it's called Thunder Road. And I sat down and I looked into the research, because research is important and we should all do it, right? So I sat down and I looked into the research about what made Thunder Road successful. And it truly was about the marketing. They didn't have a huge budget to make this feature film. This feature film was made for under $100,000. Correct me if I'm wrong. I could be wrong. I'm fine with that. But the feature was very affordable to make. And then once they made it, they independently released it. After independently releasing it, every single dollar that they made, they put towards marketing. They won a Sundance grant, and they put that grant not towards finishing funds, but towards marketing. They spent probably an equal amount to what they spent on making the film to then market the film. And what did that result in? This film now making over $1 million independently. They did exactly what the studios do. And that's the same thing that I talk about in a lot of these videos when it talks about how do you create a career in this industry outside of Hollywood. And it's simply by doing. It's simply by marketing your work. It does not make any sense at all for you to spend so much time and money working on something and tell nobody about it. Unless you are a Lego builder, which I am, and I'm not like one of those Lego builders that you see on TikTok, even though I love watching them. I'm not one of them. So I may not ever get free Legos, and I will continue to spend my own money on Legos. Okay? I don't need to tell anybody. It's fine. It's fine.
I love it. But Dominique, can creators make real money outside of the Hollywood system? And now listen, let me give you a little context on why I'm asking you this. Because this isn't common. We always hear of the huge successes, but we don't necessarily talk about those who probably get frustrated, who put things down too soon, if you ask me. You know, so is this possible outside of the one and done?
Absolutely. I'm sure you all have seen multiple people, do it. Like one of the people that I used to follow all the time, I know this is real weird, but Beloved, the lady that would eat the seafood all the time. I would watch her videos all the time. I'm allergic to shellfish, so I would live through her. But she built this brand that all she did was post. She ate every day, and she posted every single day. Every single day. I'm sure she got tired. I'm sure it became overwhelming. But this lady is now a multi-millionaire. She was able to take her seafood sauce and distribute it, make money off of that. We see it all the time. But Lala, the thing that you said was people give up. We get frustrated. We get overwhelmed. I've been frustrated and overwhelmed. I've told Tiara this. Like I'm a back background girly. Like, I don't really care to be in the forefront, but because I have a business, I have to get out there and I have to do that. And I know that even with me posting, I go places and people are like, oh, I see your stuff. I love your stuff. You know, you're doing your thing. You have to consistently show up. And when you consistently show up, and people will eventually follow you. We see it all the time. We can be the same. We can do the same. And we don't have to be connected, you know, with anybody or any corporation or anything like that. People are doing it. Everyday people like you and me. I love cooking shows. So that's one thing that I watch a lot of. I love to cook. I love different recipes. So it's a lady, she's on YouTube. I watch her on a regular basis. There's two of them. One, she cooks for her husband all the time and she loves all this pink. But she's built this platform and you see all these followers. You see all the people that are watching the videos. You know she's making a ton of money. And then there's another lady, she just cooks for her family. She makes these big meals and then they sit down and they eat together, but they're like good meals. And, you know, people are watching these videos and they're making money. And those are just two people that I watch on YouTube. But people consistently show up, whether they're tired, whether they're overwhelmed, whether people are watching. Because the fact of the matter is, once you have these videos out there, once you get that momentum, people are going back and watching those videos that didn't have views. And now you're getting paid off of the money, off of the videos that you had. We just have to consistently show up and not be afraid, you know, because nobody's watching the videos or nobody's liking it. Just keep doing it. We see it all the time.
You know, what's interesting, another thing that I teach people, because it's so true, you know, get over yourself. Get over yourself. You know, you may think you look ugly that day. Maybe you don't feel good. Maybe your hair is in ponytails. I don't know. People don't care when you get good content. And sometimes if you're not feeling well, sometimes they give you the little boost to make you feel good. Like, you're like, look, y'all, I don't feel good today. My coffee is off. My hair look like this. And this is what we're doing today. And if you're with me, you're with me. If you know, you know. People connect to being human. You do not have to be perfect, because a lot of times you're only putting your own perfect on you and you blocking your own self by not getting out of the way. But Tiara, listen, because you're an entrepreneur. I mean, you do it all, honey. Sprinkle, 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 splash.
I'm just a storyteller. That's all.
That's everything. I told you, Jolene is a real woman and I'm ready to go fight her. Okay, that's how important storytelling is. But should filmmakers think more like entrepreneurs?
Absolutely, always. I mean, I think that is. I think in anything creative, I mean, show is a part of it, but business is the other part. So it's about 90% business and about 10% show. So I think before you even think about putting anything together, consider reverse engineer that thing and think about like what the business part of it looks like. And it, you know, you were saying something about filmmakers. It just made me think of like how I remember having a conversation with Lateris Whitfield, who created the Dear Wifey podcast. During COVID, we were sitting in an empty studio and he was like, God gave me this idea to do this podcast. I want to find another wife. I was like, okay, friend. And he was telling me the whole idea. And look at us, like he found a wife and he found followers. I think about Tabitha. I mean, me and Tab used to sit in the office too, right? And we'd be talking about being actresses and all of the things. And, you know, my friend was just sitting in a car eating a vegan sandwich, trying to figure out her way, and went viral. And it's been amazing to just watch my friends really like take off in the way. But it all just started from like, this is just what I'm thinking. Like with Lateris, he was like, this is just an idea that I have, and God really is telling me to do this. And so I'm just going to be obedient and do it. And he did it. And now I'm like, dang, man, you know, he was like, that. You know, it just makes me really inspired, because I know that it's real. Like building it is a real thing. Like you don't.
That reminds me of something right now that's saying along the same lines. You know how we all laughed at Pop the Balloon, and we would look at Pop Balloon and everything is all crazy and funny, and people are like, I don't like you. Oh, your shoes are ugly. But there was a couple that just got married off of that. And it was a pure love story. So as much as we watch some of these things and we laugh and we think, oh, that's ghetto. Oh, that's ugly. I love that. Somebody got something beautiful out of that. And that also makes our hearts warm. And like I said, just do it. Just who sat down and thought about popping a damn balloon about going on a dating show? And look how big it is now, right? Nicole, I'm going to spotlight what you're saying. They hear this part as someone who started another Facebook page for content and a page for my writing poetry. It's been hard. I've actually stuck on some of the numbers of people and nobody's really replying to my post. I wanted to give up and something in me keeps saying I'll keep going. So loving this information, and each and every one of us right here are speaking life into you right now. Because baby, I've closed deals off of people who have never said anything on my content. Okay. Sometimes people don't say anything, but they're getting fed by what you're feeding them. So we are telling you right now, keep on, girl. Keep on. Do it. Because somebody is watching you and you are feeding someone. All right. So whoop, whoop. Keep going. We got you. All right, we got another video, and then we're gonna start winding this thing down. But I don't know about y'all, my creative juices are just bubbling right now. Let's check this video.
We're gonna bypass the video. It's gonna throw us off. Yeah,
it's gonna throw us off. Well,
just know that filmmakers can make money. You can do it. Boo boo boo. You just said it. It's fine.
We
don't need it. Boo boo boo. We don't need it.
Producer said it's time to start winding this down, okay? So I'm gonna start with you, Yolanda. What are your final thoughts today, and where can we find you? Can't hear you.
Off mute. We got it. Mm-hmm.
All right, my final thoughts is this. This transcends filmmaking. This is almost in every facet of our lives that we can do something creatively for ourselves and generate money. If we don't have to go through the gatekeepers. For instance, I'm sorry I have to talk about myself, but I'm thinking about when I got blackballed from corporate and I had to create a fictitious character named Bianca White to get jobs. Okay, now when I did that, I didn't know where that was going to take me. Corporate blackballed me. I couldn't get a job, so I had to create my own. When I started making way more money than corporate was ever going to pay me, okay, and I was doing it consistently for years, I was like, fuck that, I ain't ever going back. You know what I'm saying? It's going to have to take a miracle or some type of like extreme circumstance for me to ever go back into that place. My point is, when you are creative and you create something, no matter what it is, a film, a job, or whatever, you don't know where it's going to take you. Do it. That's the point. Just do it. Anywho, you can find me at mwhitney.com. Okay. I'm an insurance broker. If you need some insurance for any little thing, even your pinky toe, we can insure you. Call us. We got you.
Love it. Love it. Even in your pinky toe, she can do it. All right. Listen, make sure you go and follow her. And if you have any insurance questions, make sure you pick up the phone because I know you're going to have a great conversation. Micah, what is your final thoughts and where can we find you?
Okay. My final thought is that for everyone that is listening, to work within your strengths, work with what you have, work with where you're at, okay, and even work with your flaws. Work within your flaws. And I'll give you a perfect example of that, right? I more than likely have ADD, and I'm just kind of discovering that this year. I work like a mad woman. And at the same time, it kind of tells me what I can take on and what I can't take on. I still have to find a way to work within that, and it has made me very successful. Okay, and it's allowed me to just kind of take that and use my courage to just push things out there, sometimes with very little resources and no backing, but it ends up panning out. So just take what you have, and make the absolute best out of it. And if you are looking to learn artificial intelligence, you can try us out 7 days for free at www.aiempiresociety.com. Just come in, say hello, and more than happy to help you with what you're working on.
Better learn from the best. We got them here. No joke. I cut my teeth on a lot of AI with Micah. And I'm telling you right now, that is a great start. Please make sure that you follow her and support her as well. Dominique, what is your final thoughts and where can we find you?
So I am going to piggyback off of something that Lala said. I've closed deals with people that don't like my information. People have referred me and I've closed deals with them and they've never liked anything that I've done. So I would say to just show up, be consistent, do it scared, do it ugly, do it imperfect, just do it and show up, and it will change your life. There is money to be made, and money again is correlated for me with freedom. And so this is great times to be in. And if we take advantage of these times, it really is a game changer. But if you're not doing it because you're scared, nothing will ever happen. Just show up, just do it, fine tune it as you go. It doesn't have to be perfect. So again, I am Dominique Morgan. I am the co-founder of the Whitmore Group, where we exist to educate, empower, and equip individuals and businesses to build wealth through real estate, and we can help you purchase throughout the United States of America. And if you want to find me, I'm on all social media platforms at the Whitmore Group. And then you can also go to our website at thewhitmoregroup.com for any happenings that the Whitmore Group is doing, and anything that, any information that you may need related to real estate.
Buy land, they ain't making more of it. Simply put. Thank you very much, Dominique. Make sure that you go and check her out and all the endeavors that she is doing. All right, Miss Black Hollywood, Karma J. What's your final thoughts and where can we find you?
Man, there's just so much to say about this. But I guess what I would say is, you really can't worry about, I know a lot of people have said, like, you just can't really worry about what people want. Like, you can't worry about what is inside of you. You'll find your tribe. Like, when it comes out, when you create the content, when you do the thing, I wouldn't be so worried about the people that don't like it. People are getting famous for just doing this in every video, or just doing random things that you would never know, and people just click follow either way, right? So whatever weird, quirky thing that you had that you could be like, this is so stupid, there's people that will love that. So I would just say, do it, but just do it every day. If you get on and you just do this every day to a different rap song, if you do it long enough, people will follow you. It's the craziest thing. So I would just say that. Do your thing. My name is Tiara Williams. I'm also known as Miss Black Hollywood and Karma J. Just depends on the day. And there's a few things actually happening. Obviously, if you want to hear music and storytelling, go to karmajai.com. That's KHARMAJAI.com. It's a great album right there. Right there. It's called The Love Hangover. We did that. That was a thing. It was great. And then we have an event at the Fly Nubian Money Club with Dr. Lene tomorrow, March 14th at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's called Brilliant, but still at the same level. And it's why smart women and men in plateau in business. And it's basically about a strategy to take your life to the next level. We're always encouraging that. That's our ministry here at Fly Nubian Money Club, and Fly Nubian Money is to help you take your life to the next level. So if you want to know why you plateauing, if it's in content creation, if it's in whatever business you have, there's a way to level up. So we want to help you do that. I can put the link in the chat just so you can come on in there for free. It's all good.
Go ahead and get that. She said the magic word. Now, if you miss that, that's on you. Okay? Free. Please make sure that you do that, because this is going to help you level up. Now, listen, before I get into my final thoughts, I want to acknowledge the fact that it is Women's History Month. And we are going to tie in a very beautiful woman that actually is tied into our topic today. It's Julie Dash. She made history in 1991 when her film Daughters of the Dust became the first feature film directed by a Black woman to receive a wide theatrical release in the United States. The film later influenced an entire generation of filmmakers and inspired the visual style of Beyoncé's Lemonade. Whether you like Beyonce or not, I love that video because I really love the stunning visuals that it has. Now, here's what Lala has to tell you. Just do it. Just do it. Because if you don't even try, you're going to turn around and say, I wish I woulda, coulda, shoulda, woulda. Listen, don't let that be a part of your mantra in your life. Get out here and do it. You can't lose anything but to try. And this is one of the things that I have now taken my business into, where I am actually teaching real estate professionals, seasoned real estate professionals, and teaching them how to use video and AI and things to help them get back into the marketing game. Because a lot of them don't want to do dancing on no TikTok. But there is a place for you to use these platforms to get your knowledge out there. I told you I've closed deals. Dominique has told you she has closed deals. So if you are in the real estate world, a real estate professional, not just agents, and you are ready to level up, it's time for you to come on and get seasoned and seen. And you could do that by contacting me at laurakey.net. Listen, today was a very good topic, very good conversation, and very uplifting. So I hope that you got something out of this to help move you forward. Technology is changing how content is created. It's changing how it's being distributed and monetized. Filmmakers and creators now have tools that actually allow them to reach audiences directly. Now, the real question is, who will learn how to use these platforms and build an audience and tell their stories and make money from their work? Thank you, everybody, for joining us today. We appreciate you. Without you, there is no us. I don't have much time to say each and every one of your name today, but just know we see you. And we see you every day. If you don't want to miss any of our shows, make sure you text the word Queens, QUEENS, to 87948. And you will get notified of when we go live every day. And if you miss us, make sure that you go to Spotify and subscribe there and give us a 5-star rating so that other people can also find us. Don't miss the sign up for tomorrow, but it's also the weekend. So we hope that you have a beautiful weekend. We'll see you Monday at 1 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Peace out. Bye.